Right now in the United States, there's over $1.65 trillion sitting in forgotten 401k accounts. That's trillion with a T, and there's a very real chance some of that money belongs to you. Every time you leave a job, you leave behind a trail of paperwork, an old coffee mug, and maybe a 401k, and that is where millions of us make a huge mistake. Think about it, the average person changes jobs about 12 times during their career. You get the new job, you're excited about the new role, the bigger paycheck, and that old 401k? That becomes a problem for future you. The thing is, future you is going to be furious with present you, because that one simple oversight, the mistake of doing nothing, could be silently draining thousands, even tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars from your retirement. In this video, I'm going to show you the number one 401k mistake millions of people make, the hidden ways your money is getting eaten alive, and how brand new rules that are changing the game. Stick with me because getting this right is one of the biggest financial wins you can score. Section 1, the problem, the forgotten 401k epidemic. So what exactly is the problem? It's not about picking the wrong stocks or not saving enough. The number one mistake, the one that's most common and quietly devastating, is just leaving your 401k with your old employer when you change jobs. It seems harmless, right? The money is safe, it's still invested. What's the harm? You've basically abandoned one of your trees in a stranger's yard. You can't properly balance your portfolio because you can't see everything in one place. One account might be all in on tech stocks, while another is in a conservative fund that's not even keeping up with inflation. You can't really tend to it anymore. You can't add to it. You might even forget it's there. Over time, that yard's owner might start charging you to let your tree sit there. Meanwhile, you've planted a new tree in another yard and another in the yard after that. Soon, you've got a dozen trees scattered all over town, none of them managed together, some being neglected, and some you don't even remember planting. Well, that mindset has led to an epidemic of what the financial world calls orphan or forgotten 401ks. As of May 2023, there were an estimated 29.2 million of these accounts just floating around in the system. This number exploded after the Great Resignation, which left behind millions more forgotten accounts year after year. Why does this happen? It's human nature. When you start a new job, you're just trying to keep your head above water. You've got new forms to fill out, a new computer system to learn, a new boss to impress. The absolute last thing on your mind is calling your old HR department to figure out your old retirement plan. It's a hassle, so you put it off, and that one decision to procrastinate can be the most expensive one you ever make. Think of it like this. Imagine your 401ks are fruit trees in a garden. If you have all your trees in one well-tended orchard, you can water them, prune them, and make sure they're all getting sun. You can manage them as a single healthy system. But when you leave a job and leave a 401k behind, if it's between $1,000 and $7,000, they can force it into a safe harbor IRA for you. What you're left with is financial chaos. You have no unified investment strategy. The scale of this problem is just staggering. That $1.65 trillion in forgotten accounts represents roughly a quarter of all the money in 401k plans in the entire country. This isn't a small issue affecting a few people. It's a massive system-wide problem, and there's a good chance you're a part of it without even knowing. The first step is to see the mess. The second is to understand just how much that mess is costing you. Section 2. Agitate the 3 silent killers of your old 401k. Okay, so leaving your old 401k behind is a bad habit, but how bad is it really? This is where we need to dig in, because the damage isn't obvious. It happens quietly in the background through 3 silent killers that drain your account. Silent killer number 1, hidden fees while you're working at a company. Your employer often foots part of the bill for the 401k plan's administrative costs. They have bargaining power because they represent a big group of employees. The moment you leave, you're an ex-employee, you lose that group power. Sarah leaves the $20,000 behind. Her account gets hit with 1.5% in fees, so her real return is only 6.5%. Your old plan provider can, and often does, start hitting you with higher fees. These could be account maintenance fees, record-keeping fees, or you could just be stuck in funds with high expense ratios. Let's say you have $10,000 in an old 401k. A seemingly tiny 1.5% annual fee doesn't sound like a lot. It's just $150 a year, but compound that over 30 years, assuming a 7% annual return, that 1.5% fee will reduce your final balance by over $30,000 compared to an account with a low 0.25% fee. The fee didn't just cost you $150 a year. It cost you all the growth that money would have generated for decades. It's a slow, constant bleed that you won't notice until it's way too late. Silent killer number 2, the forced cash out trap. Your old 401k is a ticking time bomb of fees and lost growth, so how do you defuse it? This one's even more dangerous, especially if you have a smaller balance. If you leave a job and your 401k balance is under $7,000, your old company can legally kick you out of their plan. They can do what's called a force out. If the balance is under $1,000, they might just cut you a check. The only pro is that it's easy. The cons? You can't contribute to it, you'll likely pay higher fees, you have no control over the plan, and it's easy to forget about. Let's talk about the check first. You get a check in the mail for, say, $5,000. Great, found money. But it's a trap. First, the IRS requires a mandatory 20% withholding for federal taxes. Your $5,000 is instantly down to $4,000. Then, because you're under 59 and a half, the IRS slaps you with a 10% early withdrawal penalty. That's another $500 gone. After state taxes, you're $5,000 in. Retirement savings might turn into less than $3,000 in your pocket. You've just lost 40% of your money in an instant. And that safe harbor IRA? Sounds safe, right? Wrong. These accounts are designed to just sit there, not grow. They're often put in money market funds earning less than 1% a year, sometimes less than inflation. Worse, they're known for high fees that can actually eat away at your original balance. It's a parking lot for your money where it gets ticketed every single month. Silent killer number 3. Losing a fortune in future growth. You move the money from your old plan directly into your new company's 401k. I'll repeat that. There are no financial pros to cashing out your retirement savings early. The cons are brutal. You get hit with a 20% tax withholding, a 10% penalty if you're under 59, and you have to pay income tax on the whole amount. Most importantly, you permanently destroy that money's ability to grow. Cashing out $20,000 at age 30 isn't a $20,000 mistake. It's a $300,000 mistake. The big pro here is consolidation. Everything is back under one roof, which makes it way easier to manage. The main con is that you're stuck with the investment choices and fees of your new plan, which might not be any better, and you have to do it all over again the next time you switch jobs. This is the big one. This is the cost that runs into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Every single dollar eaten by fees or lost to penalties is a dollar that isn't working for you. It's a seed that never gets planted. Let's use a real-world example. Meet Sarah. She's 30. She leaves a job with $20,000 saved in her 401k. She makes the number one mistake. She does nothing and leaves it behind. Let's look at 2 possible futures for her money over the next 35 years. Path A, the smart move. Sarah is proactive. She rolls her $20,000 into a low-cost IRA. She invests it in a simple index fund portfolio that earns an average of 8% per year. She doesn't touch it. By the time she's 65, that $20,000 grows to nearly $295,000. That's the power of compound growth. Path B, the do-nothing path. Now imagine an even worse scenario. What if her balance was only $6,000? The company forces it out. She gets a check, takes the tax and penalty hit, and ends up with about $3,600, which she spends. The future value of that money isn't $295,000 or $179,000. It's zero. She lost hundreds of thousands in potential retirement income. When you multiply Sarah's story by the 29.2 million forgotten accounts out there, you start to see just how much wealth is being vaporized by simply doing nothing. In a worst-case scenario, analysis suggests an individual could miss out on several $100,000 in retirement savings from leaving behind 401ks. Throughout their career, this isn't a small leak. It's a gaping hole in your retirement boat. Section 3, the solution, the 4 options, and the one clear winner. Okay, so we've seen how bad the problem is. The good news is you have options. When you leave a job, you generally have 4 choices. Let's walk through them. Option 1, leave it with your old employer. This is the do-nothing option, the one that causes all the problems. The bottom line, for 99% of people, this is the wrong choice. It's trading long-term security for short-term convenience. Option 2, roll it over to your new employer's 401k. This is a much better option. The bottom line, this is a solid choice that solves the clutter problem, but it might not give you the best options or the most control. Option 4, cash it out. I'm skipping to this one for a reason. This isn't an option. It's a financial self-destruct button. The pros? There are none. The bottom line, never ever do this unless you're facing a true dire emergency, and even then, it's the absolute last resort. Option 3, roll it over into an individual retirement account IRA, and that brings us to option 3, which for most people is the hands-down winner. An IRA is a retirement account you own and control yourself, completely separate from any job. A rollover is just the simple tax-free process of moving your 401k money into your IRA. The pros are huge. A universe of investment choices. Instead of the 10 or 20 funds in a 401k, an IRA gives you access to almost anything. Thousands of low-cost ETFs, mutual funds, stocks, and bonds. You can slash your fees. With more choices, you can specifically pick investments with rock-bottom fees, keeping more of your money working for you. Total control and consolidation. This IRA is yours for life. Every time you switch jobs, you can just roll the old 401k into this one account. All your fruit trees are finally in your own personal orchard, easy to manage and see in one place. But you are the one in charge of picking the investments, which is easier than ever. The cons are minor. You can't take loans from an IRA, and there are some slight differences in creditor protection. The bottom line, for the vast majority of people, rolling over an old 401k into a low-cost IRA is the single best decision you can make. It solves the fee problem, the clutter problem, and puts you in the driver's seat, and some of its biggest provisions are now taking effect. Section 4. The Game Changer: How New Rules Provide a Safety Net. It might move your money from a mediocre old 401k to a mediocre new one. It solves the loss problem, but not the high fee or limited investment problem. The best move is still to be proactive and take control yourself with an IRA rollover. See this new rule as a helpful backup, not a replacement for managing your own money. Everything we've talked about has been the reality for years, but the landscape is changing thanks to the Secure 2.0 Act. Starting in 2025, most new 401k plans will have two auto-enroll employees, and employers can now optionally match student loan payments with 401k contributions. It's all part of a larger push to make saving for retirement easier for everyone. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever left a 401k behind? Do you have questions about rolling one over? Let's talk about it. It's leaving your hard-earned money behind when you start a new job. A direct rollover of your old 401k into a low-cost IRA is your power move. It brings your money together, cuts fees, and unlocks your investment potential. That one oversight opens the door to high fees, forced cash outs, and the loss of decades of growth, a mistake that can literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Instead of your old job cashing you out or dumping you into a bad safe harbor IRA, automatic portability services can transfer the money from that forced out IRA directly to your new 401k plan. Make the call, start the rollover process. It will be one of the most profitable things you ever do for yourself. Think of it as a lost and found for your retirement money. Be the pilot of your own retirement plan. Don't let your money become another statistic in that $1.65 trillion pile of forgotten dreams. To help, the government launched an online lost and found database in late 2024 to help people track down contact information for their old plans. The biggest game changers are something called automatic portability and the new retirement savings lost and found database. Here's how it's designed to work for those small balances. Under $7,000, new systems are being put in place. This is a huge step forward. It will save millions of people from being cashed out and hit with taxes and penalties. However, and this is critical, a safety net is not a strategy. Automatic portability is designed to stop the worst from happening, not to create the best outcome for you. Other parts of Secure 2.0 are also designed to help. CTA and conclusion. Alright, let's wrap this up. The single biggest 401k mistake you can make isn't some complex trading error. It's simple, quiet inaction, but you know the solution now. For most people, the path is clear. Take control. The new automatic portability rules are a fantastic safety net, but you should never rely on a safety net when you can fly. Your mission for this week is simple. If you have an old 401k from a past job, find the statement. If this was helpful, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Seriously, your future self will thank you for this.